All right, everyone, we are hot off the heels of the brand new Mario movie direct that just aired that did indeed reveal the first look at that movie, and we have to discuss that first today. Then the big talking point for today's video has to do with the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer that dropped earlier this morning. As to my surprise, it was over 15 minutes long, and we have to go over all the details and where my hype levels now fall for this project right now. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. As I mentioned, guys, we were discussing two different topics today, and first up, we have to discuss that brand new Nintendo Direct focused on the Mario Bros. Movie trailer that did indeed reveal the first look at this project that we have seen so far, as well as some voice reveals. And before I go through my opinions on that, I do think that marketing wise, this was genius to have it branded as a Nintendo Direct. That said, there wasn't anything else there other than really the trailer and a lot of build-up and thanking the people involved from Mr. Miyamoto and Chris over at Illumination Studios. And so I definitely feel like there could have been more substance in this event to brand it as a direct, since it's not a direct mini or anything else. So you can argue around what Nintendo should be doing with branding on directs going forward, but it definitely got more Nintendo fans' eyes on this reveal because of it being branded as a direct, I feel like, which is a smart marketing decision, regardless of how you felt about all the content there. Now, clearly we didn't get any video game announcements, which was directly stated by Nintendo, and I wasn't expecting anything anyway, although I do think it would have been really cool at the end of the trailer to be like, here's the splash screen for whatever's next on the Mario game side of things coming to the Nintendo Switch, but that did not happen. And we have to first discuss how this movie looks, because immediately out of the gate, the attention to detail that you can see when we see the Bowser's ship flying in and the overall texture quality, it was very surprising to me. It looked a lot more realistic than I maybe expected it to, with having the characters maintained some of their cartoony elements. I think that this style for a Mario movie truly looks incredible. And Bowser, not to mention Jack Black as Bowser, is a fantastic fit in my opinion. It seems like he's got a ton of personality. Yes, this is going to be marketed as a family movie, so you will have a lot of that humor where you saw things like the penguins attack them with snowballs. Didn't faze Bowser at all. That is going to be your expected Illumination style humor that will be in this movie, and sometimes I find that stuff funny too, so I'm not opposed to it whatsoever. And we did see an element of the story plot that it revolves around a power star that Bowser was extremely excited to see once he got to hold on to it. And so I'm sure that that's where some of the plot is going. Whether or not he's on a quest for multiple stars or that's the one he's been searching for, we don't know that detail, but I definitely think Jack Black as Bowser with that voice and how Bowser looks is a 10 out of 10 for me personally. I wouldn't change a single thing. From there, we got the transition to Mario being rocketed into the Mushroom Land, coming through the pipe. Whether or not that's like his origin into the movie and into that world, and maybe he got sent there from New York, I don't know. Like, that's definitely a possibility. The voice for Mario and the look for Mario we have to spend just a second on, because first of all, this is not the look that you would expect from Mario in terms of the video game, which we discussed that in a previous video, because yes, his face did leak ahead of this trailer reveal, and my honest opinion on it is it's kind of off-putting when you first see it, but then with all of the animation work that's going to be done and kind of them wanting to drive home a very expressive character, I don't think it's a bad fit or bad look for Mario, and you can still clearly identify him as Mario. He just has a very round, wide face compared to what we've seen him in recent games like Mario Odyssey, so I'm fine with the face. The voice, well, the voice sounds like Chris Pratt. It's not bad, it's just not anything that was very unique in my opinion. And to be fair, we really still don't have a full grasp of what it will actually sound like in dialogue format, because it was very quick and minimal words that were featured in this trailer. Shout outs to Toad. That character is fantastic, looks great, sounds great, and has a ton of energy and comedy energy behind him, so I'm all in on Toad. On Mario at this point, I feel like I haven't seen enough of the character to really fully say where my thoughts fall, but I'm not turned off whatsoever by this reveal. I actually really think that this was a solid trailer, and it did a good job hyping up the fact that this movie's around the corner, and I'm perfectly fine with Chris Pratt's voice that we know so far as Mario. I just hope that there are elements in the movie where we do see Mario get super hyped up, and you have the wahoo and you have the mamma mia and all the good stuff that you expect with the Mario voice. So I'm hopeful that we get all of that. We saw Luigi towards the end of the trailer running away from dry bones that look fantastic. The logo, everything. In terms of movie quality, I am all in on this. I am extremely positive on it. I'm not thinking it will be the best, most revolutionary movie ever, but I definitely think in terms of a quality Mario movie and what we can expect to hope to see from the future of Nintendo Pictures, this is solid to me, and I will definitely be planning on seeing it in theaters on April 7th when it does launch. But I want to hear from you guys on this one in the comments down below. What did you think about the overall animation style, the quality of it? Jack Black as Bowser and then Chris Pratt as Mario. What do you think so far with what we've seen from this trailer? Because clearly it was pretty short and didn't show us a whole lot. And walking away from this event, are you more or less hyped for this movie? And do you think that it was a good decision to market it as a Nintendo Direct for the trailer reveal? So please share all your thoughts and feelings on all things this new Mario Bros movie and today's Direct in the comments down below. Now, the other story we're talking about today has to do with the brand new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer that dropped earlier this morning. To my surprise, when I loaded this thing up and it was longer than 15 minutes, I was not expecting that. I was definitely going into this thing with the mindset of, hey trainers, it's another trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, thinking like 5 or 6 minutes, something like that. We got a detailed breakdown of a lot of different elements of these games, and that's very exciting because it's crazy to say it, but we're gonna be in November next month already in 2022, so these games are actually out relatively soon. Time is flying, and I definitely do think it was time to start pulling back the curtain on how mechanics in the game are going to work, revealing the different Pokemon that are there, the different landscapes we can expect. And if I'm being 100% transparent and honest with you guys, Legends Arceus for me honestly set the bar so high for the Pokemon franchise and what I wanted to see going forward for this series that I'm a little bit indifferent on this game. I think it's fantastic that it's going to be in an open world, but I also can see elements of the more traditional Pokemon formula and less of that live action sneak up on Pokemon and throw the Pokeball, have that Rolodex of Pokemon that you can throw out at any time to instigate a battle with no traditional battle transition screen. And while I can't quite still figure out, I probably need to watch more deep dive videos, I can't quite figure out if that battle transition is a smooth transition this time around or if it's more reminiscent of the loading screen transition that we've seen in times past. We don't know if the trainer can walk around while they're in battle, and to be honest, when you have mechanics like that were implemented in Legends Arceus, granted you can argue that's a spin-off title for the series, it just made me feel like that needs to be the future direction for Pokemon games, and it does feel like this is more reminiscent of Sword and Shield, but with the wild area being essentially the entire map. So while I enjoyed Sword and Shield, it was not anywhere near my level of addiction that I had going on when Legends Arceus dropped, and I plummeted 65 hours plus straight into that game without playing anything else. Loved the fast dodge roll mechanics, loved the entire story and progression system, and even though it was open zone and not open world, it still felt like you were constantly going to a new direction. And I'm not saying I'm not hyped for Scarlet and Violet, I'm buying them day one, and they actually have some very cool elements that I think that I am more excited from walking away for this trailer, such as the co-op aspect and the raid battles. I like stuff like that. Playing with friends on Pokemon games is fun. Of course, you can trade your Pokemon to friends, and there's plenty of core series formula things that are coming back that are needed, but I definitely felt like walking away from this trailer that yes, the question has been answered, that we are playing this much more like a mainline traditional formula in the series when it comes to the Pokemon franchise, as opposed to Legends Arceus, really what I feel like needed to be the future direction for the franchise. But of course, if you are a tried and true Pokemon fan that has been around for all these years, it is very exciting to see them tackle the prospect of open world exploration, and going through the gyms and not having to stick to a particular path is very cool. I think that this is all stuff that should be implemented in the Pokemon world, and I still can't wait to check out these games. The crystallization Pokemon mechanic thing thing. I could take or leave that. I don't think, or terrestrialize or whatever it's called. I couldn't really tell you that like adds anything in terms of my hype levels for the game. I know it does things that makes the kind of type system that you're going against other Pokemons more advanced, and there's definitely going to be extra layers of strategy that come along with battling other Pokemon and trainers because of that system. But I think the look of it itself, for some reason, I'm just not entirely buying it, and it doesn't seem to add that much to these Pokemon's overall aesthetic for me, whereas transformations in past games definitely seemed like they were more of a standout cool feature. All of that said, the travel system is intact where you ride on your legendary Pokemon. I think that's fantastic. Flying in the sky, or gliding rather, plus just using them in the water, and also, of course, on land with either the wheels or the ridiculous wheels that are there, but still being hopped over with a hop motion if you end up getting Scarlet as opposed to Violet. I am definitely getting Violet personally, but Giraffaric and other Pokemon were unveiled that look awesome. This is going to be a cool world to go traverse. There's even like a picnic system, which it's kind of cool. You can let all your Pokemon out. That was definitely something that, you know, you might just want to relax and enjoy, look at your team for a little bit. They created like a sandwich maker portion of that picnic where you can actually make the sandwich yourself. Sure, I don't need to do that personally. I don't really feel like that's going to be a feature that I care about at all, but it's in there. And one very interesting mechanic that they kind of briefly went over was you can point your Pokemon into a direction and have them essentially, it looked like auto battle. You see their health bar, but I believe that they decide the attacks. You can also go send them out to get items, stuff like that. I am a fan of. I'm a fan of having your Pokemon out and about, following you around. I love the Let's Go games for that reason, and having all the Pokemon available in the overworld that you can see them. There is stuff in this game that I am very much a fan of. I just keep coming back to the point that I personally think, with everything I've seen at this point in time, while I am going to enjoy this installment in the Pokemon franchise, I think honestly, Legends Arceus just set the bar a little bit too high in terms of how forward-thinking the mechanics were of this game. And so for Scarlet and Violet, I'm getting it. I'm excited for it, but I am tempering my expectations to not maybe enjoy it quite as much as I did the adventure of Legends Arceus. And I do feel like this is the Pokemon Company kind of playing with the formula, because you know that both Scarlet and Violet and Legends Arceus were in development at the same time. So maybe by next year, when we get the next mainline Pokemon iteration, that at that point we are talking about more of those modern mechanics implemented alongside of an open world traversal system. But I want to hear from you guys at this point in the video on both the different stories we talked about today. How do you feel about today's Nintendo Direct and the Mario Bros. Movie trailer reveal and all the voices included in it? And definitely share with me where your hype levels now fall that we got a 15-minute overview deep dive trailer into Scarlet and Violet. What mechanics and systems are you a fan of, and which ones are you not so much of a fan of? And are you like me and you wanted this thing to be way more Legends Arceus and less traditional Pokemon formula? Or do you think that this is the happy middle point of merging those two styles together? So regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, which is on screen right now. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.